Yeah, as you look at the final 1/8 of the season and you study that historically, Jerry, what is it about teams that finish the final 1/8 well?
I think you have to if you want to go deep into a postseason and win, and that's what we want to do. You just can't get off the gas. The finishers finish. It's like coming in and closing out a win. Nobody wants to limp to the finish line, and we've got a lot of guys that are having really good years. And for them personally, the finish is important. For us collectively, the finish is important. And I don't know, if you quiz 50 people, 25 may believe in momentum and 25 don't. I do, and I do think that momentum is important as you head into that last push in the season, and hopefully we show up. This team's shown up all year long, and I suspect we will for these last 3 weeks.
You mentioned trying to make a deep playoff run. I think everybody here would be very excited about that, obviously. But as you go about thinking who will be in your rotation for a playoff run like that, what are you looking for? What's important in choosing a postseason rotation?
Well, I guess for us, it'd be hard to go wrong with how everybody's pitching right now. Our rotation has been so strong for most of the year, but especially for the last couple of months, and pretty dynamic, especially since Louis joined at the trading deadline. But mostly you're looking at the opponent. Who are your best matchups? You might get a team that's a little more right-handed than left, where, as we go through our meetings that head into setting a postseason roster or rotation, or even how we use our bullpen on a given night, all of those things become factors, and a lot of it becomes about who has the hot hand in that moment and how do they line up against your opponent. And those will be big factors for us as we line it up.
Hey, we have tried to figure out, Jerry, and it's an impossible question, who's got the nastiest slider in the rotation or in the bullpen. They're all a little bit different. They come from different angles. They move differently. But I'm curious, just watching Swanee again yesterday. Well, I should call him Swanson. I can't do that. I'm a professional. When I watch him, and he's got a little different arsenal, right? He's got that splitter. Do you think that plays to his advantage, that his stuff is maybe just a little bit different than all of the heavy fastball slider?
I do, and it's part of the reason why you often see Scott or Trent and Woody slot Swanee in against the left-hand hitters. He does have a weapon that allows him to be a better matchup against a lot of those lefties, and to some extent that, and I heard the noise to a degree during the deadline about the need for a lefty in the bullpen. And right, wrong, or indifferent, and fair or unfair, but Swanee has kind of assumed that role for us and has done a great job of it. But, the thing that Eric does that's different than really anybody in our bullpen or really anybody in baseball is if you watch how his arm carries in back of him, you just don't see his arm show up until it comes out in front. And he carries it so far along the trip down the hill, and he's tall, so it just pops up from in back of him. And I think he has the most difficult arm to pick up maybe in Major League Baseball. And that his 93, 95 plays like it's 100. And his breaking ball is so severe because you just don't get to track it as long as the other guys. That's Swanee's special gift, is how long you don't see his arm.
You got a lot of filthy dudes on this team, honestly. Like, as every time we have these conversations, I'm struck by how easy it is to just sort of ask you, hey, tell me about this guy's stuff. And it feels like you could spend forever just describing what makes each guy in this rotation or in this bullpen as good as they've been.
No, this is the best pitching staff that I've ever been associated with, and I've been fortunate enough to watch some great ones through the years, and this is such a special group. They all do something a little bit different. It's hard to point at an individual player on this team or pitcher on this team and not immediately be able to cite, a handful of things that they have done to heavily contribute to the team having this year. And I'd have to give credit to Kyle Torgerson, our medical team, and the pitchers themselves for the work they're doing just to stay healthy. That's maybe our biggest gift this year has been the general health of our pitchers. We have a good pitching staff, and they've gone out and they've pitched their innings, which is a big thing.